Hello and welcome back to the Agarest War 2 thread. I have two people today.
I'm Anoya.
And I'm Scurvy Kip. Hey.
And right now we're fighting a disembodied brain and a couple of his buddies.
Alright, so we're fighting Krang off to a good start.
Exactly.
Just a normal encounter in anime worlds.
Exactly. I mentioned this in the actual update, but this is one of the very few enemies we will never be seeing a palette swap of. There's no other enemy in the game that looks anything like Cerebrum.
Oh, that's his name?
Yep.
Somehow not surprising.
Yeah, a lot
How
of
many
people
giant
make fun.
brains with tentacles and weird hands do you see flying around every day?
Well, yeah, but a lot of people like to make fun of Idea Factory games for reusing models.
Every RPG does that.
A lot do, yeah. Just like, can you name any recent RPG that didn't have a Tolkien reference somewhere?
Oh god, no.
I can honestly not think of a single JRPG that didn't have a mithril set of equipment or...
Well, considering
enemies.
goblins are, or orcs and goblins are from Tolkien, it's pretty hard to go any,
Yeah.
fantasy game without it, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird. I can't think of a single RPG that doesn't have something that came from Lord of the Rings.
That and they're really obsessed with Star Wars. The whole father versus son, dark side, light side thing.
Oh, Cerebrum actually has eyes on its brain. You can see him even moving around.
What the hell? And on its hands.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't notice the hands. Sweet.
And those little feeler things.
It's pretty... It's not bad for a disembodied brain enemy.
See, I would expect its attacks to get weaker and weaker as you damage it, since it's just an exposed brain and you're literally getting brain damage.
Yeah, there's no, like, damage gimmicks with enemies in this game.
Aww.
Unfortunately.
So, the Griffin, meanwhile, is a palette swap of the one from before, isn't it?
Well, the Griffin is a normal enemy.
Ah.
It has a whole lot of hit points.
Yeah. The thing with sort of mooks in boss battles is there's a couple reasons you want to get rid of them really fast. One, because they give action points to the enemy, and two, they have original skills of their own they can use, and those can wipe out 2 to 3 members of your team pretty instantly. And right here, this is a different finish strike. I only did this because I was showing off for the internet. I wouldn't have done this normally.
Ah, lovely.
It wasn't bad, and some of the late game finish strikes, they are absolutely ridiculous.
I'm only mildly disappointed they're not animated or just in-game engine.
Yeah. But the most expensive finish strike in the game, I think, is you have to have 4 ultimate points to use it, which is a hell of a lot. And you have to have 4 mage girls on the team, and you have to have a certain amount of special points. But it is pretty destructive.
So, but basically almost impossible to set up.
Well, see, that's the interesting thing. It is difficult to set up, but it's worth pointing out how the previous 2 Agarest War games did those combination attacks. In those games, the special point system worked completely differently, and the problem with them is that unless you were in a really hard boss battle, you'd almost never get to see them. So you have all these awesome moves that you have available, but you simply can't use them since in non-boss battles those conditions will never come up. In this game, one of the big improvements they made is to make the finish strikes more accessible.
So it seems like the condition of having all mages would be a little bit risky.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't use that team in a serious fight, no. Because there's always a need for fighters and mages in this game. There's very few boss battles you can simply luck through with a specific team of either. The more effective teams will always have more magic-oriented characters and more physical-oriented ones. But yeah, for a lot of these fights, it's simply a lot of you'll be stepping over a lot of corpses on your way to victory, simply because the enemies are so strong and you can't stop them once they've started attacking. I mean, poor old Weiss here, he has gotten KO'd in so many boss battles, I cannot even count.
It's good to be the chosen one.
Exactly. Like I said to Anoya a couple videos back, all of the enemies in this game have sort of like a specific AI routine that they do, but for some reason they always seem to be going after Weiss in the first generation. It's pretty sad.
Well, he killed a god. He'd be the biggest threat.
But stat-wise, he's definitely the best member of the team. For example, Victoria is actually slightly stronger than Weiss is right now, but her magic damage and resistance to magic is pretty low.
Damn.
So,
which is why
overall,
she just got her shit wrecked.
Exactly. She has very, very low resistance to magic.
Yeah, it seems a common theme of these boss battles is just watching your characters get destroyed over and over again.
Exactly. Because a lot of because a lot of the boss battles go down to preparation. You need to properly set up attacks. You just can't just attack willy-nilly, because you'll often do very little damage and they have counterattacks.
Ugh. Crocheting.
And see, in that instance, there was no point in me continuing that attack, because if you notice before I attacked, the enemy was marked as outside, which means that I would be doing very little damage to it, and its evasion would be very high. So I'd hardly ever hit it anyway.
Wow, you were defending and you still got destroyed by it.
Yep.
But then again, like, everybody except your mage is little.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be interested in Aina at all. And I'm not entirely. Well, I think he'll kill her later in this video.
Just so she's not left out.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody gets a turn.
There's just no really quick way to kill this guy, because I don't really have EX skills that allow me to quickly kill enemies. Like in the last update I did, the enemy put one of my characters below 20% HP, and that allowed her to activate a skill called Unleash Magic, which dramatically increases the power of magical attacks, and I brought him to about 90% HP to overkilling him, simply because it does that much damage.
Do you get, like, any, like, I know in Cross Edge, at least, I think if you, like, I think if the final hit, you actually cycle through his hit points again, the boss's hit points again, you get, like, a bonus or something.
Yeah, that mechanic is in this game, too. Once an enemy is dead, you can keep attacking it, and if you do enough, if you inflict the enemy's total HP on it while it's dead, you overkill it, and you get an item, depending on what you did. For bosses, you usually get some sort of minor stat increasing item, but sometimes you can get pretty cool stuff.
Is it worth it?
Sometimes no, and sometimes yes. For example, I'm like 99% sure this guy would drop a stat increasing item that really wouldn't be worth the effort to fight this guy again and see what it does. I'm just really not that interested in it. I did have a save game running where I would overkill bosses with late game equipment by doing a New Game Plus, but I am an idiot when it comes to managing save files, and I overrode it at some point. And I was far enough in the game that I said to myself, hey, I'm playing through this rather long game already, and I don't want to play it twice for something that's really not terribly interesting except to me, so I kind of dropped it because
So what
Man,
you're saying
already,
is this isn't a 100% run.
Oh no, this will be. It kind of isn't a 100% run. I'll be showing off everything that's interesting. I mean, some of the late game commissions, you have to pay about like 50 million gold for something that really doesn't matter at that point in the game. So I may or may not be doing that. It doesn't affect anything plot-wise. Once you're done with the main story, there's really not that much left in the game. But the main game itself is about, like I said in the opening post, it's 40 to 50 hours long. This is not,
about standard.
yeah, it's not an especially long or a short game.
Man, she is just crying the hell out of him.
Yeah, I really didn't notice those eyes on his hands. Not bad.
Honestly, that attack sounds like it's something just straight out of Toho.
Yeah, it
Well,
does
moments
sound
like
kinda
this
similar.
are very Toho.
They're not. I don't
And-
not see nearly enough poofy hats.
Nope. Aina wears a hat. I don't think anyone else does. I think Aina is the only one wearing anything close to a hat. I mean, Victoria has a headdress, but that's about it. Let's see the progress on the horrible cutscene video, because 12 minutes until that abomination is done.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you guys are not getting away from that.
I